Australian Sports Sedans are back live on RACESTARS TV tonight. Round number 1 of season number 12, live from Oran Park Raceway for our 580th broadcast tonight, and we're back. It's been a while. I feel like it's, we're back home now. The Sports Sedan guys, Ran is back with the crew. Many names you will remember, you will know from previous seasons. And tonight, what a place to kick it off as we fly over the new housing estate. Well, let's take you down to where the action will be at tonight for the racing legends. And Benjamin Roberts back to defend his title tonight for Mini Muscle Cars. Tonight brought to you by Parramatta Smash Repairs. Big thanks to Ryan and all the crew there for getting behind tonight's broadcast. Here we are live. Let's head down to the track and watch a bit of this action. Benjamin Roberts currently P2. Top time at the moment, a 1:01.7 for yours truly. Ryan Simpson leading the times at the moment from Shane Nichols and Samuel Collins there as well. Hayden Carroll, Jana, Gretsch, Smith. Mark Price up in 9th. He's doing well. Tony Don's there in 10th as well. And we're going to talk to heaps of the drivers hopefully throughout this series. It is an all-Australian series with Sandown and Winton now added to the service here on iRacing. We're going to see lots of action from tracks you should very well know. There is Rand McClurk, and we'll talk to him shortly. The maestro of this series out there at the moment in the McLaren. I think the only McLaren to grace us tonight. Check out the flames. How good is that? Mr. Anonymous with the stars. That'll be Peter Ellenbogen. Welcome tonight. And Will says been waiting for this series to come back for ages. A lot of people have. So share it with your friends. Tag a few mates now and get involved in the banter. Nathan's here already. He's strong with the banter and he's setting some stars. See you, absolute legend. Said he's here for the soothing tunes. How good was that opening song from Rand himself for the brand new Sports Sedans eSeries theme song? You'll be hearing that at the start of every broadcast. There is the Parramatta Smash Repairs BMW with the big Barbara Streisand nose on the front of it. What can Ryan Simpson do? Can he win the first round of this new series and take it away from Benjamin Roberts? Well, we're going to know soon enough. 2-race format tonight, as always. This is going to be mega as we see Ryan through the kink into turn 2. How are we going to get 30 or so drivers through there without incident? Under the bridge, doesn't that put a smile on your face? Sports Sedan says Tyson Hammer, yeah boy. Let's get rid of this music and let's crank up the cars here. We've got such a mixture of GT3 cars. Obviously iRacing doesn't really accommodate sports sedans as such. This is the closest we can do though, and I love that. It's mega. Ash McClurkin's come back, by the way. There's Ash. So it's great to see him also rejoining the series after missing a couple of seasons. Jason Mikowski. All these names that, I mean, for me, it's nostalgic. It takes me right back to the first early days of doing Lucas eSports RACESTARS TV a couple of years ago, 2.25 years ago it was. 580 nights ago of live broadcasting. Can you believe? And a lot of these names have come back to have another crack. Rue Koister's there as well from the F3A series. There we go, FRG, Formula Racing Group. He's out there tonight in the Lambo. We've got a couple of Lambos out there. Shane Nichols, another Lamborghini driver. In fact, I'll just get rid of the times for a moment. Let's have a look at the classes and the makes of cars out there. We've got a BMW currently leading a Ferrari, a Porsche, then a Lambo, then another Porsche with Hayden Carroll in the Machine Cult Motorsports Porsche, just going under the bridge now. Sky Sands on the side of that. That looks fantastic. And then you've got Jenna in the Ferrari, a couple more BMWs. Then the first Audi tonight. Whoa, how loud is that? Ian McDougall. And from memory, if memory serves me right, this man races TCR in the real world. And a big wobble through the kink. We'll see a lot of that tonight. Keith with the stars. G'day, Keith. Welcome tonight. And how cool does the Audi look? So he's the top one at the moment. This is my drone camera, which will pick the car up at a very fast pace of knots up the hill to create some exciting shots tonight. It is a fast-moving little drone, but gives you a little look at the undulation up onto the hill. Look at that, almost straight through us. And we've got our regular spectator cameras and plenty of different camera angles here at Oran Park Raceway for those that used to grace here back in the day. Go the Porkers, says Nath. Yeah, we got this man here. Check out this. Let's ride on board for a little bit here with Hayden Carroll. Got the sound cranking from these cars. Hopefully it's nice and loud for you again tonight. And just watch the way he gets it turned nicely through turn 2. Under the bridge, always put a big smile on the face going under there. Then into 3, the big braking zone now. We may see the odd little cheeky manoeuvre up the inside. And then we start to get to this tricky little right-hander heading up onto the bridge. Big bump on the mid-corner. Unsettles the car. You can run a little bit wide there to then carry speed up onto the bridge. Turn Just as it gets blind there at the top of the crest, you turn it in and hope for the best. Now down the hill, skimming across the apexes. Take that little bit of concrete as much as you can through the left-handed now. Same thing, skim the concrete on the inside of the ripple strip, up over the dogleg, aim for the trees. Hopefully you got it right, you don't miss the apex, because you'll end up in the fence, into the big heavy braking zone now, into the final corner, and that's a lap on by the Porsche of Hayden Carroll, right out to the fence to cross the line, currently sitting P5. And how good does it sound? It's great to be back at Oran Park, and it's great to be back with yours truly, Ram McClurk. And how are you, mate? Sorry, I missed that. I cut you off, Ran. I've got you up.
Cut me off.
I've got you loud and clear now. I had your volume down. Mate, how are you? It's so good to be back.
No, it's great to be back. Season 12, Sports Sedans are back. A little bit different. We're in the GT cars, and yeah, it's brought all the boys back, hasn't it?
It's so good, mate. It's a big field of cars, and I do want to take some opportunity sometime for you just to talk about a few of these liveries. There's some nostalgic things out there tonight, some of the throwbacks from years gone by.
Yeah, 100%. Some of the guys have embraced it and gone with some old liveries, and some of the guys have got non-sports sedans, but they all look good, and that's what matters. Everyone went to a lot of effort to get all the sponsors on the cars and get their names on the window banner, so it looks pretty cool, I reckon. Speaking
of sponsors, Ryan Simpson, Parramatta Smash Repairs, our round one sponsor, on top of the times by just on 0.2 of a second over Benny Roberts. That's an impressive get-go for Ryan.
Mate, Ryan's quick. We were just talking about it before. He's probably the most unlucky fast guy in the class. So, yeah, I think if every time Ryan gets taken out, I think you've got to do a shot and get real drunk by the end of this. So we're hoping that he has some good luck this time.
Yeah.
Because he is very fast. And as some of you will know, Ryan drove a real GT car for a while there in his racing career, which hopefully we can drag him in later and he can chat to you guys all about it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And I think last time we talked to him, he wasn't doing a lot of real world stuff, but hopefully he's got something organised. It's with COVID, everything's shut down, as you know, Ran. And, well, it's starting to open up again. And how good is it to have another Aussie track launched today? Sandown is on the service for iRacing.
Yeah, mate, it's really good. We're going there next, aren't we? Yeah, round 2 is going to be at Sandown. I did 2 laps around it today in the McLaren and did a 108 in 2 laps, and I wish I could do a 108 in real life, I can tell you right now. It's pretty accurate, I reckon. I've been quite impressed, actually, with Winton and Sandown. Obviously, Phillip Island is pretty accurate as well, and I believe that Mount Panorama is as well. I've never driven that, but yeah, it just shows that what it makes me happy about is I know when I go to another track on here that's in America or Europe, it's obviously fairly accurate. So yeah, props to iRacing for scanning them and trying to get it the best experience that we can get from it, I suppose.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I bought it literally 10 minutes ago because I finally did my update. For those who don't know, iRacing big update today, about 15 gig, and a lot of people scrambling to get home from work and make sure that was done prior to the broadcast. And I had a bit of time left, so I quickly went and bought Sandown and also Fuji, isn't it? The other new track that I'm interested in.
I bought Fuji as well, but I haven't driven that. And I bought the new Radical, but I'm not totally sold on that yet. I only did a couple of laps just to quickly check, but I'm sure it's fantastic. It's another cool car. I don't want to be one of those guys that when iRacing releases something goes, oh, but I want more dirt tracks. I want more this. You know what? Yeah, there's always stuff that we want that it's not going to be here. But I think, you know, they're giving us pretty bloody good content, aren't they? And it's only, what, 10, 11, 12, 14 bucks to buy something.
Yep.
If you do that, you know, if you only buy a couple of bits of content each thing, so, you know, it's still bloody cheap, I reckon. I don't think it's that bad at all.
Yeah, hey, how good do these Fords look? We've got Ross Hansen out there. We've got Kurt Bond as well in a throwback livery there.
Yeah, so both those boys are in Di Tommaso-inspired liveries. Obviously, Kurt is in the... is it Colin Bond? Yeah, it was the Colin Bond.
I think it's so, yeah, the Nat West.
Yeah. I was just trying to think if that's who drove it, but I believe it was, wasn't it? I remember actually seeing that in real life as a kid at Winton, and I just fell in love with it. So I thought that was super cool that he did that. And I think the other one is a car that Rusty French drove, from my understanding. Kurt was trying to get me to do something with that, and obviously Ross is a big fan of the old school stuff, so I think that's super cool. And obviously we've got another Rusty French car out there. Hayden Carroll's in, you know, a bit of a Sky Sands black 935 Porsche inspired livery as well.
Yeah, Ava Buckley would like that one, so hello Ava, who's watching along. And well, I love the Jordan Knockholes too. We've got the Audis back at the moment. It's a really good spread of cars. So we've got a Ferrari leading, a BMW, then a Porsche, then a Lamborghini. So 4 different makes in the top 4. And then I look down further. The first Audi is in 10th and the first Ford down in 15th. So obviously it's a brand new day for iRacing and the balance of power. There's probably a couple of guys a little bit worried about that coming into round 1.
Yeah, but look, the we went with this because we figure iRacing are going to do a better job of it than I will do. And it sort of takes, look at season 12. Obviously, we had a little bit of a break. I wanted to create something that was a little bit less stress for me and a little bit less emotionally draining. And GT3 was put forward, and I was quite against it at first, but I think it's the right choice. The cars are relatively forgiving for someone like myself who's not a sim expert, but they also reward a good driver, so you're not just going to have a slow guy beating everyone, but it brings the field a lot more compressed. So I think that's really cool, and I think they look cool. They sound good. Yeah, there's nothing real proper sport. There's not many proper sports sedan kind of style cars on iRacing, and as we saw through previous seasons, it's hard to sort of match up cars that we think would work, Yeah, so yeah, it's good. It's good. Looks good. I'm really happy.
Mega, yeah. And hey, at the expense of you maybe going, hey, look, you should have done your research. Can you tell us a bit about the race format tonight?
Luke, you should have done your research. So race 1, I'm just going to make sure I'm reading it correctly because obviously I did this, but race 1 is 12 laps.
Yep.
And then we're going to do a 20 lap reverse grid if I've ticked the right box. Otherwise it's a normal grid, but it should be reverse.
Standing start, rolling start, of course.
Rolling starts if I tick the correct box.
Yep.
I hope I did. It can happen. We've also, remember that debacle we had when we made people start their own cars and use clutches? Yeah. We got rid of that because clearly some boys here can't do that, so I'd rather have it fun. Yeah, the same sort of rules, not meant to eject. If you notice anyone ejecting and then going back out and qualifying, let me know later. They're not meant to do that. We're trying to have some level of realism. Yeah, we've joked that it's Parramatta Smash Repair sponsored, so who knows what's going to happen into turn 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no mandatory pit stops this season, except for Bathurst. When we go there, we'll do the Enduro, and obviously there'll be a couple of pit stops and people will take tyres if they want. But I've tried to clean it up and make it as streamlined as possible, get back to basics, let's have some fun, and we can make it complicated down the track if we feel that we need to. But, with everyone going back to work and racing cars and having families and everything, I thought let's make it as simple as possible. That's why I sort of open sets, because actually fixed sets create a lot of drama for me from people. So this sort of keeps it simple.
Yeah, so this is open setup, is it? Yeah?
Yeah, we've gone for open sets because otherwise I just get messages about bias and about I shouldn't say that. Just tuning of the car to suit people, and I'm just like, you know what? Opens, like myself, I know a bunch of us are using the baseline sprint setup, and all we've done is up the preload in the diff. So mainly people are messing around diff preload, rear wing angle, and brake bias. That seems to be the main sort of things. Maybe a bit of rear bar tweaking. Besides that, I think unless you know what you're doing, you go backwards.
Yeah, cool. So it's this is going to be exciting. I'm excited, to be back. Obviously, it feels like home. I said that earlier before you joined me, Ran. Ran's just popped off, so he may come back in a second. But there he is. He's back. I said, mate, it's great.
That was weird, wasn't it?
It was, but I said at the start, it's like being back home to where we started this 2.5 years ago. I feel really fresh tonight. Like everyone's come back with a new level of enthusiasm. Pete Ellenbogen's just put a comment in saying Kurt's paint scheme inspired by the Barry Lock build. Di Tommaso Pantera.
He's adding on information. Is what I heard.
Raced by Kevin Bartlett.
Yeah, please, anyone wants to put up extra information like Pete has about the cars, but it helps educate everyone watching. And I'm actually just looking at my screen now. I'm looking at Dexter in the Lambo, so that's the Ford Big M inspired sports sedan.
Let me get that up on the screen. Matty Dexter, yeah. Yep, there it is, the Big M.
That's the Big M Ford that Jim Ritsage drove, and I'm sure a bunch of other people did. It was super cool back in its day. It's actually, I believe, a car that's for sale or has just sold or whatever, and people are restoring it, which is pretty cool. And then I should point to mine because I like mine. Mine's
yours is
inspired
sick.
By the Keith Carling 300ZX, and as people know that I do like my Nissans and would love that car. So yeah, that's sort of, unfortunately for the guys in the race, it's some of them are seeing it as white, but you're seeing it as yellow, aren't you?
Yeah, it's beautiful. How about you take us for a lap, Ran? I love putting you on the spot and making you do that.
Yeah, let's do a lap of chaos, all right? Let's go out.
We'll jump on board with you and have a look. So obviously it's a track that I had the pleasure of racing at back in the day, just some super sprints. It's so sad that it's gone, but anyone tuning in that's been here at Oran Park will just go, wow, the spectacle that iRacing has captured.
As you first sort of saw, you've got to watch it on pit exit here.
Yeah.
Let who's behind me? H. We might let H. Oh no, he's not catching too fast yet. So yeah, these cars are quite good. Something that's going to sound funny is I've found that using more gears helps.
Yeah.
I wasn't going back down to my low gears on early days of iRacing, and I've changed that. It is hard to talk and drive with H behind us, but it's quite tough across through that bridge. Obviously, this is an outlap, so the tyres are pretty cold.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm the only look. H is going to get frustrated with me in a minute, punt me off. I'll move. I'll stay over here. Is he going to come by? Yeah, let's let him by.
There he goes. Yep.
Oh, and there's someone crashed. Now, what am I? 1.7. 1.7 off Benny and Ryan. I'm pretty happy with that for an old fellow like me. But let's see if we can get a bit of anger.
Yep, so obviously down towards the kink, you got to find a braking zone and then try and flow the car and keep it settled under brakes. Here we go, so through the kink now, then straight line, almost like Wakefield reversed, you're to the left instead of to the right. But get it nice and braked in a straight line under the bridge. Tell us about turn 3 here, hard on the brakes.
Yeah, and back to first, and I try and tuck it in, get on the power as soon as I can. Now, the McLaren does not like this next section. We've worked out that the McLaren just doesn't want to turn in here and rotate and get off the corners very well. Try and stay wide and tuck it in. You can't really use the curbs in this car. It just unsettles it too much. Again, there's H gone. All right, bye-bye, H. That's going to probably happen in the race for the poor guy. It's fighting me a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're all right. Now, across here, I used to look at the trees, remember?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Aim for the tree.
Now I just fucking now I hold it flat out. I used to back off so much through there. Now, and again, you've got to try and get a good run out of here. It's not a super quick lap, but the track temperature's gone up to 22 degrees. We've been doing a lot of practice at 18 degrees. So let's see what happens through here. Try and hold it quick. I just back off a little bit, then get off the brakes, back to first. And I've actually been finding I'm actually able to brake quite late there. Jordan Caruso, who some of you may know from real life sports sedans and also is quite a good sim racer. He got me calibrating my brake pedal differently, and it's actually helped me a lot. So hoping to do a few more things with Jordan so that he can try and pull me a bit closer to the guys up the front. So yeah, big change. So.
Well, that was good, man. That lap looked really smooth for you. So obviously 23rd at the moment, 1.6 off. So you're getting closer. Yeah,
like I said, I'm pretty happy. I'm super happy with that. It might seem like I shouldn't be, but 1.6 behind Ryan and those boys, like they're proper good. You know what I mean? They're as good as anyone, I reckon, personally. Like, you might find I don't think if Jordan is here, I'd still be within 2 seconds of him. I'm pretty happy with that kind of level.
Yeah, it's looking good. So qualifying coming up in about 45 seconds. What's the plan with that?
For me, I'm not too fussed about it. I think it's going to be chaos into turn 1. I'm obviously going to be down the back somewhere, so I reckon I'll probably just go out and do some more laps and just see what the track's doing. I'm not messing around with setup. I'm running race 1 setup in practice and qualifying, so that gives me a couple of extra laps over what we're doing, and then I'll put another setup for race 2, which gives me a bit more laps.
So you think some drivers will have full quali setups?
100%. We know for a fact that some of the guys in practice have been doing quali runs to scare everybody else, where some of us only just do race runs in practice. I never do quali runs. I don't see the point. I know for a fact that I'll do better in a race if I've got a car that handles well on all fuel levels rather than trying to qualify up the front for me. And I think that's what the guys will do. The quick guys obviously will try have a pure quali setup because they want to get up the front. And then, yeah, I think if you're smart and you've sort of mid-pack further back, you'll focus really on a race setup.
Awesome, Rand. So good to be back, mate. Good luck for qualifying. And if you finish quali early, come back and chat.
I shall. Cheers.
Good luck, Rand. All right, Rand McClurkin having a chat with us before he goes into quali. Let's have a look at the practice times quickly up on the screen before we get into this quick qualifying session. And hey, let's click the right button there, Mr. Race Director. There we go. So Roberts, a 101.562. Check out how close that is. 7 thousandths of a second between himself and Ryan Simpson. Sam Collins within 6/10 as well. Super close in the mid pack, you can see. It's going to be maybe a 2-horse race at the front, but from third back, it's going to be battling all the way through. Let's go down and join qualifying now. And we'll pick up some quality times and sectors as well at the bottom of your screen. Let's jump on with Ryan Simpson as he takes us away, leading the crew. It is a full open quali session, which I love that this series embraces. A lot of series go for the lone qualifying, which means there's no other cars on the racetrack. What that does, it makes it simple for the drivers, whereas this sets a challenge out there. You've got to actually find a bit of track position. Now with 30 odd cars around a small place like Oran Park, as you can see from the track map, it is busy. Roberts setting some purple there, and Ryan Simpson as well on their out lap. Now we're our first flying lap. Good luck to all the competitors. 10 minutes on the clock and 10 minutes only. Jacob Neeser says smooth hands ran. He enjoyed that one. Ayers says Koistra, the GOAT. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your first name correctly there. And plenty of other comments. I'm just reading up through them now. It's super amount of people commenting. Thanks so much, guys. This is great. So it's good to be back. And Sharon says, I miss racing at Oran Park. And I think we all do. I think it's, I miss going around there on my little Austin Healey, but I also just miss being able to go there and watch racing on a track where, we were talking about this the other day with Winton, just an amazing circuit where you can sit in one place up on the hill and see the entire track. There's not a lot of tracks like that. This was absolutely one of the best. Ryan Simpson, purple in the last 3 sectors. Coming on to the start-finish straight now. Where will this time land him? Can he break into the 100s? He's just done a 102.0 for the first lap. It's eclipsed a 101.7. Sorry, it was a 101.7 for Simpson. Roberts 2/10 slower in this opening part. Rick Koister's just gone purple in the Lambo. Check it out, the FRG Lambo. He's got that thing wound up as well. Brett Knockoll says good luck to the Chill Out boys tonight. And hello, mate. Nice to have you watching as always. I'll put a few comments up on the screen. There's Brett's comment coming through now, and keep the comments coming out throughout the night, and I'll try and engage with you guys as much as I can whilst I look over the 15 screens I've got here. I'm exaggerating slightly. So Roberts within 2/10 of a second. Knockolls now goes third. So Jordan's doing very well there. There is the Chill Out car. It looks the part, doesn't it? What a great livery on the little Audi. So up into third place. That's the highest we've seen the Audis so far tonight. Mark Prize in the house as well. Hello, Mark. You going to qualify out there and give it a crack? I can see you sitting in the pit lane. McClurkin's gone 14th as he goes up over the bridge in the Soul McLaren, a 101.7, new fastest lap for Simpson. Roberts goes P2. Jenner up into third now. The mid-pack improving slightly with green sectors. If you're new to racing, green means personal best. Yellow means slower than your personal best, so not ideal. And purple, of course, best of anyone. Oh, that was Mikowski. Was it into the fence, or was it... No, it wasn't Mikowski. It was... let me work this out. It's going to take me a little while to remember all the names. It was Colin Smith, MR Automotive, that hit the fence, and he's got a lot of damage on that car, just trundling in the pit lane. Now, remember, no escape rule is... That was Simpson? No, it was someone else hitting the fence on the pit straightaway. No escape rule means that if you crash the car, you cannot just escape back to the pits and start again. It's like the real world. You've got to actually drive it back to the pits, or if you do escape, that's it. Your qualifying's run and done. Roberts just lit the timing screen up with a 101.67. Goes to the top now. It's super close. Simpson needs to try and find an answer. He's within 33 thousandths of a second as we approach the halfway point of qualifying. But there is Benjamin Roberts in the mini muscle cars Ferrari tonight. And gee, that's a nice time, isn't it? 101.6. I would have loved to do that in anything I ever drove around this place. I went around here with Grant Denyer in a little mini turbo when they first brought out the new mini turbos. That was a heck of a lot of fun. I remember holding on for dear life. Very impressed by the speed of them. And just having a look now at some of the times further down the order is Ian McDougall in the Audi, P11, just about to cross the line now. Does he improve? Yes, up to 6th place, so that's a nice little improvement for him. And within now 0.8 of a second, and just ahead of Nichols and Koistra, Gretsch 9th, and then Smith rounding out your top 10. Ross Hansen's out on a lap as well, so the top 4 at the moment. It looks to me like Kurt Bond, Pryor, Falzon, and Medson have yet to come out on the track and may not qualify. Mark Pryor saying not tonight. Turn 2 will be chaos, so he's going to sit out quali and start from the rear field, which you know, I always encourage everyone to quali, but that may also be a very smart thing to do. Trundle around the first lap or so, and hopefully keep your nose clean. Ash McClurkin fires it through. There's a car off in the weeds there. That is, there's 2 cars off, in fact. That other one was, just pick up who that was. It's the Audi, isn't it? So it's not giving me an indication of who the driver is, sadly. For some reason, it's Robert Medson. So Medson just getting himself used to this circuit. Hasn't set a time yet. There goes Benjamin Roberts. Ryan Simpson's done one purple sector, but the other's yellow, so not sure he's going to be able to knock back any of that 33 thousandths of a second he's trying to find. He was about 7. Oh, into the pits goes Simpson, into the pits goes Roberts. So their qualifying's done. The mid sector there, Simpson was a little bit faster. Did about 7/10 quicker as Sam Collins just clouts the wall coming into the pits. He's just made a mess of the barrier there. Lockie Barlow tonight in a Mercedes-Benz, also heading back to the pits, is he? Yeah, Mikowski, how's he going? He's coming onto the pit straight now, and I think we'll return to the pits as well. So pit entry being practice as Hansen goes through in the Ford and crosses the line, stays 22nd. Kurt Bond hasn't set a time, but he is just coming around to finish his lap. So on board with the Ford now. On board with the Ford, I like that. And across the line, how good does this sound? Kurt Bond qualifies. Currently 24th, and doesn't set a time with that lap, so we'll stay 24th. Still 2.5 minutes to go, so a little bit of time to still wriggle yourself up into the top 10. As it stands though, the cars back in the pits that have locked a time in: Roberts, Simpson, Jenner and Collins in that order. Jordan Knockolls just coming down around a little bit of traffic there. Shane Nichols as well, P5 and 6. And then it's McDougall locked in 7th at the moment, ahead of Koistra, Gretsch and Colin Smith, your top 10. So we will be able to hear some of the race chatter tonight at certain points. We'll keep that to a level. I apologise in advance for any naughty words that may be said across the race channel. I'm sure it will be fine though. Tony Don, into the fence goes Knockolls, so that's going to ruin his qualifying chances now. He will stay P5 at best. How's Tony Don going? Is he back into the pits? He is. Kurt Bond's going to cross the line this time to get a lap, which will hopefully take him out of the bottom 24. Drops him up to 23rd, so jumps up one position there ahead of Ross Hansen. That is a very fast Ash McClurkin coming through as well, 20th place, as Shane Nichols just jumps up into 3rd. So good lap from Shane in the Lambo. Puts currently Ferrari, BMW, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche. So Samuel Collins, the top Porsche in P5. With just on a minute to go in quali. Peter Burness in the house. He says, have a great race. Hayden Carroll, Benny Roberts, Kurt Bond, Lockie Abalo and Tony Don. And Mark Pryor's been practicing with the AI races from the rear of grid. I'd tell you what, I've got to get my steering wheel bolter back on and have a crack. I miss iRacing. It's been a long time since I've been able to have a genuine run.
And you should come back.
Oh, hello. You gave me a fright then.
I just noticed that people were talking on the iRacing chat, so I'll try and stop them from doing that.
I don't mind that, but it's up to you.
No, I don't like it. It's
you
not
don't
real.
like it? Okay.
No, go away. Read the rules.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Qualifying's looking good, real close to the top. Simpson only 33 thousandths outside of Robert's time.
And look at me. I'm not last.
You are. You're doing very, very well. So up there in 14th outright. Nice.
I'm going home now, man. I'm done. That's as good as it's going to get, probably. So, no, I'm happy with that.
Lock it in. Hey, we got to encourage Mark Pryor. He hasn't qualified. He's got to get out there and qualify. We should make it, you must complete a qualifying lap.
Yeah, I don't know what his problem is.
He's going to start from the back.
Oh, that's lame. But yeah, anyway, whatever. If people want to do that, I don't always think it keeps you out of trouble, to be honest. I think, to be honest, it's just luck of the draw. I think I'm in it's danger zone in the middle, there's no doubt about it. But whatever.
Well, it's race 1, man, of this new season, right. Season 12. The hell have you started, Ran? 12 seasons ago. We're at season 12. Has he gone? He has. Good luck, Ran. Good luck to all the drivers. Let's run you through the grid for tonight's first race. And here it is. It is, I'm just going to get rid of the eSeries off the end of that so it looks a little bit more pretty. There you go. Australian Sports Sedans tonight, Season 12, Round 1. It is Ben Roberts who has put it on pole position. From Ryan, Simpson, P2, the second row, Nichols and Jenner, the third row, Collins and Knockolds. Then it's McDougall and Koistra with Gretsch and Smith, your top 10. Hayden Carroll in 11th tonight. Lockie Barlow starts from P12 on the grid. 13th, Matty Dexter with Ram McClurkin starting out of P14. Mikowski and Crum down there in 16th place. Then it's Medson and Ormans down there in 18th place. It's Kurt Bond in 20th ahead of Tony Don. So Bond did jump up a couple of spaces right at the end there to be just in 19th. Brett Zicky out of 21st, Ash McClurkin 22nd, PJ Whiteman 23rd, and Ross Hanson rounding out your top 24. 25th on the grid. Mark Pryor starts from the pit lane, he'll start at the back, and Michael Fowson to round out your 26 drivers for the very first race of this season number 12 of the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries. How good is this? Keith Logan, welcome. As I said before, if you haven't seen, I'm not sure, Keith, if you've been around for a Sports Sedans broadcast, but I always love them. I'm very biased. I love all the series that I commentate, but I think because these guys were from the get-go, right at the start of me doing this, I'll always have a soft spot. Let's get rid of the music, and as they roll away with the safety car, how good was that fade, by the way? Audio fade to be proud of. As they roll away, Benjamin Roberts will get the honours here to run down the pit straight and hopefully get us through the kink without incident. And I'm always very nervous at Oran Park because it is a circuit where you tend to get a bit of a dust up on lap 1. The Porsche safety car should roll out of the way into the pit lane now. And let's get ready to go. Green. Round 1 of the Australian Sports Sedans. We're underway for Season 12. Simpson a little bit slow off the start. And it is a big challenge there from Brendan Jenner. Here we go, down into turn 1 for the first time. So far, so good. Oh, we got a spinner at the front. Someone's gone around. I think it was the Porsche. Has gone straight across the circuit. It was Samuel Collins. Samuel Collins has gone back a few spots there, but he did rejoin and got away with it in the end. It could have been a lot worse. Oh, contact on the brakes there. Was that Hayden Carroll? Didn't Ram McClurkin predict that this would happen to Hayden Carroll? And it has happened on the first lap, and he has ejected. He's gone home. So I'm not sure what happened there. We will try and get a replay, but Carroll, he's got just as bad luck as Ryan Simpson. As up over the bridge they go on lap 1. Roberts leads by half a second or thereabouts over Simpson, Jenner, Knockholes, and Rue Koistra made a mega start, finding his way up into P3. So be happy with that opening lap in the Lambo. There is Samuel Collins recovering from the spin. He too should count his lucky stars after that one. That could have been a real nasty start to the race. Down into the kink we go. Check it out from the drone camera. That is Benjamin Roberts leading 7/10 now, just starting to eke out a small advantage over Simpson. Jenner's dropped off the pace in that Tony Ricciardello inspired livery, Machine Cult Motorsports. And he's sitting in 3rd place. Drew Koistra still challenging in 5th. Colin Smith 7th with Gretsch, McDougall just a little bit further back. And further back then you got Mikowski in a big train of cars. So it's Matty Dexter there. He's just behind Ram McClurkin coming across the bridge now. So McClurkin up into 10th. Dexter, Mikowski, Crum. Peter Burness with 1,000 stars. Oh my God. Thank you, Peter. It's so good to be back, and you guys are way too generous. I appreciate it. It's McClurkin. And I say it's a train of cars. He's not really holding anyone up, McClurkin. He's holding his own here. He's made up 4 positions in the opening couple of laps. And it's only a 12-lap sprint, this first one. He's got Dexter about 3/10 behind him. What he wants to try and do is, if he can, keep on the tail. Oh, we got to spin up the front. Oh, we got a car in the fence. Jordan Knockholes. And I think Rue Koistra is the other one. They've come together. I will get you a replay of that in a second. Have a look. But that's happened down at the kink into turn 1. Tony Don's also had an incident on that opening lap. I'm not sure. Let's go and check out the Hayden Carroll incident first of all, because this is obviously the first one, which is slow it down. Now, did Hayden get taken out here? We'll slow it down about now, and I might have to go to an overview here. So Hayden was just where is he? He's just in the middle of your screen now, heading in behind Gretsch. He was late on the brakes, and then he snatched the brakes. Ooh, Rand's giving him a bit of a contact there, so that's how that's unfolded. But he snatched the brakes and went across the racetrack, and that's what took him out of the race. Let's go back and have a quick look as we stay on the replays here and try and find what happened to Rook Koistra. This is down at turn 1. Lockie Bowers says, I'm done, internet is stuffed. So Lockie's out of the race, unfortunately. Let's have a look at this incident with Koistra. Now, he was in clear air, and he got a huge wobble on. And he took out knockholes with him, so that's unfortunate. That was a little mistake there from the Formula Racing Group car, which ended up taking the Audi with it. So, unfortunate couple of laps for a few drivers there. Round 1 jitters, maybe out in front, the gap 1 second. Roberts over Simpson. You can see the Parramatta Smash Repairs P2 BMW just staying within touch, but he won't want to let Roberts get away in the sprint race. There's no pit stop, so no real strategy to this other than go as fast as you can go. They've dropped Jenna by about 4 seconds now. In fact, 3 seconds it is between Simpson and Jenna. Let's go back to this battle with McClurkin, and still holding out in 9th place. He's got Crum behind him. Mikowski still in tow as well, and Mikowski alongside Medson. So there you go, barbecue cam from the side of the Jace Mikowski MS eSports Mercedes-Benz. Oh, look at him struggling for traction down through 1 and 2. And up on the inside, up on the curb was Medson in the Audi as well. Chilat Motorsport Audi. But Mikowski holding his own. Behind you've got Orlemans in the Audi as well. Daniel in 13th place. So he's also just in behind Medson, trying to find a way through over the bridge. Meanwhile, these guys, 13th and 14th place, are now 18 seconds off the lead of the race. So quite a margin, it's got to be said. Knockholes has kept the car going. That was Mikowski has just lost the back end of the car, and he's gone bush. So unfortunately, Jace has lost it way out there, and he'll drop outside the top 20 with that mistake. Meanwhile, at the front, the gap's still a second. Not sure Simpson's got an answer at this stage for Benjamin Roberts. He's trying, and he's trying gallantly to get back into this, but so far, to no avail. We'll jump back to the battle with Kurt Bond, 14th place. He's now caught the back of Brett Dickey. So the top Ford competitor in this little grouping of cars, and Dickey coming under a bit of pressure now. How good does Kurt's car look? Looks beautiful, and he closes up under brakes again. Up onto the bridge, front end of the Ford looking very, very planted, working well. And as we ride on board with Kurt, let's have a listen. I wonder if he's down on a little bit of straight line speed compared to the GT3 car in front. Just watch his run onto the pit straight. As lap 7 of 12, we're already beyond the halfway point, hitting it together over the dog leg. And just watch this, exit's so important, onto the pit straight, gives it full beans up against the fence, and let's see if the Ferrari just pulls away slightly. He's in the tow. The Ferrari does look like it has maybe a little bit of straight line speed, but you got to remember this is it's not a fixed setup league, open setup. They could be running different levels of wing and all sorts of things just to make different advantages. So that to me is my car of the night. That looks beautiful. Brett Dickey up 9 spots into the top 12 as well in the faster Ferrari, looking very, very good. Back further, Shane Nichols and Michael Falzon battle over 15th place. They've got Ash McClurkin in front of them, up 8 positions, 14th to Ash on the big return to this series. Has got himself right up there into the top 15, and that's a decent effort in the 23. Lap times currently in the 102s at the front, so it's pretty decent. Smith's just done a 103, 102.9 for McDougall back in 6th as well. Last time we saw McDougall, he was in the 2-litre car, the TCR car. As right up against the fence there, you can see the tail end of Falzon wobble, and then Shane Nichols gave it a big tank slapper as well. And they're going to go wheel to wheel into the braking zone. The Lambo just in front will sweep across and take that 15th position away from Falzon. Then it's Ross Hansen back in the next car in 17th place. So back to your race leaders. They continue to battle on here, and I'm just watching. There's an overtake up the road a bit. Oh, Ian McDougall's come off the track. That's why there's an overtake. I saw someone falling down the order. That elevates Dexter up into 7th, McClurkin up into 8th, Crum up into 9th, and Daniel Allmans has just got up ahead of a few more of them, as I think Luke Crum is off in the fence as well. So a couple of drivers at lap 9 making some mistakes here. Sher, thank you for the stars. Hello, Sher, as always. Here to support Rue. Thanks, Sher. 1.6 seconds now the gap between Roberts and Simpson. And let's just jump on board in the Ferrari. That lap 4, ultimately the fastest lap of the race so far, has looked very, very good. Mark Pryor, by the way, we spoke about him before. He started from the pit lane. He's got himself now up into 21st place. And, he's just been overtaken there by Mikowski, who's recovering from the spin. Mikowski back up into 21st, Pryor back 1. Tony Don's back there in the pack 2, down the inside on Pryor. He goes in that beautiful livery there for the all-in-one Motorsport Audi. So doesn't that look great? It's that's a livery that's been here since day dot. And it's great to see all the sponsors up in the top right-hand corner screen, but also on the cars. All the drivers making the effort to make sure the sponsor logos are on there for the round sponsors. And tonight, of course, being Parramatta Smash Repairs. Ryan Simpson in the Parramatta Smash Repairs at BMW sits in 2nd place. He's the margin out to 2.2 now. And if Ran has selected the right box, we will see a full reverse grid 2nd race tonight. So that could be a little bit chaotic. We don't mind that, and there will be pit stop strategy involved in race 2 as well. I haven't been over to YouTube for a little bit, so I should get over there and say hello. We've got Jackknife Racing over on Twitch. Hello, Jackknife. Says GT3s are too big for Oran. There's always congestion. Yeah, it's pretty much how it is. I think the V8 vets are going there in the supercars next season too. It's going to be chaotic, to say the least. Susie says, hey Luke, can you show us what cars the drivers are in? Okay, so which make of cars? Is that what you mean by that? I can do just that for you for a moment as we stay watching Ryan Simpson lap 11. So at the moment it's the Ferrari leading of Benjamin Roberts out in front. Then the BMW of Simpson, Collins in the Porsche, Gretsch in the BMW, Jenner's in the Ferrari, and the first Lamborghini of Matt Dexter now. With the big M on the side, up into 6th place. Smith in the BMW, McClurkin in the McLaren, running in 8th position. And then you've got Allmans in 9th and McDougall rounding out your top 10 in the 2 Audis at the moment, as Ash McClurkin, I think, has just gone off down at turn 1 and 2. And he rejoins down in 18th place. So Roberts coming through to get the white flag, 1 to go. And in the background you can see Simpson. That is the margin between 1st and 2nd. 2.5 if he crosses the line. It looks like it's a done story here for race 1. Samuel Collins looking for his podium here as well. So he's currently 3rd, up 2 spots in this first race tonight in the top Porsche as well. Well ahead of any other Porsche tonight. In fact, Hayden Carroll, the only other Porsche, a DNF for race 1 sadly. But the good thing about that for Carroll is, with Barlow, who's P last, Barlow's taking no more part in tonight's race due to an internet disconnection or internet not being up to it. So it will put Hayden Carroll on pole position if he races race 2, which I'm hoping he does. It takes a little while, especially Oran Park. Drivers round 1, it's going to be a little bit of biff and barge, just getting things back into some sort of order. But it's all about having fun, and hopefully the drivers are having fun out there. Susie, thanks. I got it right for once. Here we go. Checker flag. And it is Benny Roberts in the Mini Muscle Cars Machine Cult Ferrari. Takes the win in race number 1. And a good 2.8 seconds clear of the Parramatta Smash Repairs of Ryan Simpson. And Sam Collins will take P3 in race 1. Good job. Here comes Aaron Gretsch. He's going to take 4th in the opening race. 5th will go to Brendan Jenner. Just behind him in the Ferrari there at Tony Ricciardello inspired Ferrari, and Matt Dexter will take 6th ahead of Colin Smith. Ram McClurkin will come home 8th, just ahead of Daniel and Ian in the 2 little Audis. So really close racing throughout the pack, and we'll hopefully have a quick chat in the warm-up session. So maybe a couple of drivers, but there you go, race 1, run and done for the Sports Sedans brand new season, number 12, here live on RACESTARS TV. We'll get you the full results up on the screen shortly, and we'll bring you hopefully a couple of driver interviews with Roberts, Simpson and Collins. Stand by. Don't forget, share the stream, get a few friends tuned in, support these drivers. So we'll just wait for the results to be made available from iRacing, which they have been now, and this is how race number 1 tonight looks. Mini Muscle Cars Machine Cult Benny Roberts with the win ahead of Ryan Simpson and Samuel Collins. Let's see if we can't go and grab we'll grab our race winner in first of all, Ben Roberts, for a quick chat. And g'day Ben, welcome to the broadcast, man. Congratulations on the first win of the night for round number 1 of this brand new series.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. It was a little bit easier than I thought, but still got the chaos of reverse grid next.
Mate, it's great to be back, and a massive thanks to Ryan and Parramatta Smash Repairs as well. Ryan, well done, P2 in the first race tonight. What are you going to do for race 2? It's just got to find that little edge to catch Benny.
Hey Luke, yeah, mate, it's tough. I thought I had the 1 lap pace, but in the race, Ben was pretty consistent and a couple of tenths quicker. So I don't know. We'll just try and see what happens. It's reverse grid, so mate, a lot will probably happen in the next race. It'll be less boring than that one.
Well, it's a tough track to come to. Obviously, big cars, small circuit, and yeah, we saw some pretty good racing there. Just at the front, you guys stretched away. So, reverse grid, it's chaotic for you guys. Turn 1 and turn 2. What are your thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, just hang back and survive the first few laps, I think, and sort of not try to go for the win in this one. Just try and keep out of trouble.
For sure. And Sammy, quickly, P3 in the first race tonight. Good job, mate. Top Porsche as well. What's your plan for race 2 coming through the field?
Thanks, mate. That was good fun. I got a bit interesting at the start, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, Oran Park's a bit hard to pass on, so see where you end up after this. Hopefully stay out of trouble. That's
it, mate. Change of undies at turn 1 for you in race 1. Hopefully you don't do that again in race 2.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. It wasn't an ideal start, but it turned out pretty good in the end.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Benny, and thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Sam. We'll hopefully talk to you after race 2 tonight. But Ryan, definitely, if you don't make the podium, come and say g'day as being the sponsor for tonight, man.
Will do, mate. Thank you.
Awesome. Good luck for race 2, Benny, Sam, and Ryan.
Cheers, Luke.
All right, I'll put those guys back into the main room so they can get back and concentrate on what they've got to do, because race 2 is not far away. There's the timer up there now, just on 2 minutes until we kick off the second race tonight. A couple of drivers out on the racetrack doing some laps. Let's pick up Aaron Gretsch here. He's out there in the BMW rounds. Join me as well, mate. First race of a brand new season. Exciting stuff. A good win out in front, but also getting 30 or so cars through such a tight track in big GT3 cars. Not so easy.
Dude, how good was that? There was a bit, yeah, like we were just talking then. Matt and I were right next to each other, and then checked up, and I tapped H, unfortunately, but we're not sure whose fault it was, but I hit him in the back, so it's probably my fault. But yeah, that was pretty epic, wasn't it?
Man, it's just so good to see. I mean, there's some generally good racing there as well, wheel-to-wheel racing. I tell you what, Sam Collins, did you see him lose it at turn 1 on the opening lap?
Nah, man, I was too busy holding on for dear life. It was all a bit, because Lockie was blinking and then he suddenly ejected out, and it was all, and then it went green, and so I think a few of us were caught a little bit off guard. But yeah, look, that was super hard. I'm now stressing for 20 laps. That's going to be really difficult.
Yeah, and just to bring you back to that Sam Collins moment, he lost it through the kink, slid across the grass, and still managed to get P3 in the race. So it's a great recovery. But the full reverse grid coming up now in about a minute's time. It's going to be a challenge. Hopefully H is coming back to race second race.
Who? H? Yeah, he should be. Yeah, no, he's here. He's not upset. Yeah, he wrote to me my bad in the private chat thing, so...
He did snatch a break, so he snatched a break first, which then moved him across into your line, so...
Oh, so, yeah, it was really... You know what, you just try not to hit anyone when it's like that, and yeah, just all of a sudden I couldn't get on the brakes enough to not hit him, so... yeah, look, I definitely don't want to hit H, because he's machine cold, isn't he? He's out. It's the same team, so yeah, hopefully he has a good result in the next one. And really... I don't know. I just want to talk about me for a minute.
Yeah,
I'm
go.
at 8th, all right?
Excellent. No, it was a great drive.
For me, I hope Pete Ellenbogen is losing his mind over that, because I was thinking of him when I was doing that. So, yeah, no, I'm the only person in the McLaren too.
Mate, it looks so good. So well done. I'll let you get ready for race 2, and obviously we'll debrief after the race.
No, it was good. Good. I'm glad the racing was good too.
Looked awesome. Well done, Ran. All right, it's about time to go to race number 2 with 5 more seconds remaining. That's the end of your practice time, guys. Let's go racing. Let's put on the RACESTARS theme song. Let's go through the grid for race number 2. So race number 2, the Australian Sports Sedans Season 12, Round 1. Full reverse grid here. Lockie Barlow won't start from pole because he's got internet dramas. Hayden Carroll will start in P2 off the front row by himself. Medson and Don off the second row with Pryor, Whiteman, Mikowski, Crum, McClurkin and Rue Koistra. Rounding out your top 10. 11th on the grid will be Jordan Knockholes with Ross Hansen starting out of P12. 13th on the grid, it's Falzon and Nichols with Kurt Bond and Dickey. Then McDougall, Ormond's down there in 18th place. Ram McClurkin from 19th with Colin Smith. Rounding out your top 20. Then it's Matt Dexter, Brendan Jenner, Aaron Gretsch and Samuel Collins to round out the 24. 25th on the grid, Ryan Simpson, and right at the back, this is the view he has. Benjamin Roberts can see a full field of cars in front of him, and he will start from the rear of grid tonight for this second 20-lap race. 1 pit stop required. Good luck to all the competitors. It's time to go racing. Hayden Carroll will lead us away from the front behind the Porsche safety car. He'll have the honours. Look at that field of cars glistening in the sunlight here at Oran Park. And Hayden Carroll, well, hopefully he can stay clear of any trouble. It was good to see Ryan Simpson clear the race. They get P2. He's generally one that's also gets a little nudge and it's a race over. If he's got any bad luck, it's definitely shown up here in this series. But he got a fantastic first race tonight. So Carroll leads us away. We'll get rid of the music. Let's crank up the cars. And we will see a rolling start once again tonight. And it's a good jump from Hayden Carroll. He doesn't muck around. He's out of there. Sorry, it's Medson, isn't it? So Medson went early. I wonder if he'll get pinned for that. Carroll was either caught napping there or Medson's jumped the gun. There is strict rules on when you can actually go in this series. So everyone's just filtering their way through turn 1 and 2 now. I think there was a little bit of contact in the back. Someone's gone wide. I'm seeing where Simpson is. He's already up into 17th place, so up 8 positions off the start. Medson leads out in front by a country mile in racing terms, 0.8 of a second on the opening lap. And he leads Carroll. There's Carroll. Mikowski's in 3rd place. Knockholds has moved up a few positions. There's Koistra. And you've got Kurt Bond in 10th place. We look back further to find where Benjamin Roberts is, and he's right at the back. So Roberts hasn't progressed. And I think he may have been the car that came together with someone else on the opening lap. And he's in the fence again, so Roberts is in trouble on the opening lap of this 20-lap feature race. And we will get a replay for you soon. Colin Smith was the other car that crashed out at a similar spot. Now we might just try and see if he's got some damage too, as Hayden now closes the margin to Medson in front. And he has a look to the inside. This is Porsche now versus Audi. I've got a feeling the Porsche just may have a little bit more speed over the Audi. And once again, Hayden Carroll looking very aggressive right up underneath the rear wing of that Audi. And Medson will need to have his elbows out for these first few laps of this race until they settle in a bit. Ryan Simpson, 15th place now, continues to move forward. He's made up 10 positions already. Make that 11 as he gets past Nichols. Up into 14th now. He's got Brendan Jenner just in front. Jenner's having a fight with Ross Hansen. Behind Hansen, you've got Simpson, then Nichols, then Dickey, then Falzon. Ahead of them, you've got Rue Koistra. Oh, that was Hansen off the track. He's got to be careful with the rejoin here that he doesn't send it into another car. Hayden Carroll's into the lead of the race. What's going on here? Is it Carroll in the lead? No, it's not. It's Medson leading. Carroll slow off the corner and about to get swamped by Mikowski. I reckon Carroll might have gone across the grass at the dog leg there, because he's definitely just dropped back and lost a lot of straight line speed down the pit straight. So a bad exit out of the final corner finds him drop back to 4th place now. Mikowski through, Knockholes up into 3rd. Carroll, Don, Ash McClurkin in the top 6, having a mega drive here. Luke Crumb's in the fence. Oh, big dust up. And I think Simpson's trying to creep through there, and he has cleared the cars, but there was 3 or 4 cars involved in that one. Crum, Whiteman, and a few others. Kurt Bond's off the road in the fence as well. He's finding reverse and backing it out of there. So a 3.6 second margin now. Your race leader back to Mikowski and Knockholes. Your top 3. Carroll still in 4th place. And wow, there's a lot going on, a lot to digest. Mikowski has a busy little pack of cars behind him as well, and they are quicker. Knockholes closing the margin. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. It's back to Koistra in 7th, tucked up behind Mikowski now. This little battle pack growing. Knockholes has a look. He'll run down the inside into the kink. Surely, here we go. Let's have a look at spectator camera through the kink. There they go, side by side. They touch the grass. Don was all sorts of sideways as he turned it into the apex as well. Ash McClurkin hot on his tail with Rue Koistra. Let's jump on board in the Lamborghini. McClurkin defensive. Koistra late on the brakes. Almost hit the back of the Mercedes there. He got it slowed down. Eventually the Formula Racing Group driver. Up the road you can see Mikowski battling with Carroll it is. They're wheel to wheel. Up over the bridge again. Tony Don stays pace in the Audi. He's watching this thinking there's a fantastic movie going on in front. Hopefully these two wipe each other out. P5 would easily become P3 in a hurry. Matt Dexter has also crashed out sadly. This is intense racing. And just keeping up with the action. I'm also just looking back, scanning for Ryan Simpson, P9. Roberts out on the track again, but sadly with a brand new car, they have fixed that. Got him back out on the track, but he's in 24th position. So he was able to limp that back to the pits. He did lose a lap, sadly, so that's unfortunate for him tonight. There's a couple of cars carrying plenty of damage, and maybe a good time for us now to try and just suss out. I think it was Roberts and Smith that got together. Let's have a look at this first of all. So this is your first little replay. It was down through the kink. Simpson got a great jump, didn't he? And then this is where we're going to see a couple of cars, I think, getting together. Where is Roberts in all that? He's at the back, so I think he might just clean or get cleaned up. Oh, he got cleaned up there. So just a little bit of a tripping over of each other between those two. Then the Colin Smith crash was a secondary smash, I think, between them. That was the one we just looked at. So it was a second contact that I think did more damage, unfortunately. So from then on in, there was another crash between Kurt Bond and a few other cars. That was in the same spot. Turn 1 and 2 seems to be the tricky spot. So this was the second crash that we saw Bond off in the fence. So he went down through there at a great rate of knots. And oh, so you can see nose to tail contact in front of him. And then as we speed it up from there, what happens? He just gets a nudge from the Tony Ricciardello styled car. And Simpson was lucky to sneak his way through there. So busy start to the race, and a couple of big crashes took some big names out. Back live though, and let's pick up where we're at. Medson, Knockholes and Carroll, your top 3. And that gap has gone all the way back from about 3.6 seconds now to half a second. Medson leading Knockholes. I'm sure Carroll, he wants to get back in this too. He's not far off at the moment. Back in the pack, Ryan Simpson's made his way up to 8th place. Don't forget, we've still got a pit stop to come in this race. So the drivers will be planning that. They will have put a certain amount of fuel in the car, and they'll know that at a certain point in this race, they're going to have to come in. Sure says no safety car in this series. Not a manual safety car. There's an iRacing one if needed. But generally, we get through these races without safety cars in this series, the Australian Sports Sedan eSeries. Knockholes to the lead of the race. Audi versus Audi. They're coming on strong here, and Medson back to second now. So the Chill Out Motorsport HPF eSports car goes to the lead. Listen to the way this thing absolutely roars. Sounds fantastic, doesn't it? So they're currently sitting about 2 seconds or so ahead of Hayden Carroll, then Mikowski, then Tony Don, then Rue Koistra. Over the bridge, look at the speed he takes through there. He's picking his lines well. In fact, he's already pulled away. Oh, big snap of oversteer there. That could have cost Knockholes the race if he had have lost that, but he grabbed it very quickly. But he's already cleared off a second after getting past Medson now, and Carroll needs to try and work the back of Medson as soon as possible so he doesn't drop too far off the lead of this race. Remember, it's so easy to make a mistake. You want to try and stay as close as you can they generally will come down to the wire. Sam Collins, he's also fought his way through the field from the back. He's behind Brendan Jenner at the moment. They're trying to go with Simpson. So there's Simpson. Here comes Jenner and Collins. And watch out, they've also got the Lamborghini of Shane Nichols not too far behind them. So there's Sam at the moment, down through the first turn. Koistra's in trouble. Koistra's in the fence, and he's backing it up and getting it going again, but he's gone straight on there. I think that's that. They get the kick of oversteer as they go through the kink, and then it fires them back to the right into the fence. So it's a tough thing to get right, the flow through turn one. Like I said, it's almost a complete reversal of what you do at Wakefield Park, and you try and straighten the car and brake in a straight line, but you've got to settle the car through the kink. You can take a lot of speed through there, but if the car's not settled, that's when you start to run into a bit of trouble. So Ryan Simpson now, his next target, Ash McClurkin, and he goes down the inside, big dive on McClurkin, and that's job done. So the big late lunge for Simpson up into 6th place now. Next up the road for him, Tony Don. Let's jump on board with Don. The all-in-one motorsport car, down through the kink he goes, into the braking zone, then they fire under the bridge. You can see in the distance now, Don, in fact, he's already got past him. Simpson's moved up another position, and in the background, McClurkin also has a little bit of a look. Then we wait for them to go over the bridge. There goes your race leader. Wait for the gap to Medson. It's just on a second. Oh, Carroll's all over him now. Then we wait for Mikowski to come through. Then we'll wait for Ryan Simpson. He'll be the next over the line, and there he goes. So Simpson pulling away from Don. He's trying to catch Mikowski. Now, can Ryan Simpson with 10, in fact, it's 12 laps to go. I reckon Simpson can still get himself towards a podium with a free run from here on in. By kink, do you mean it's a chicane? No, it's a genuine kink. As into the pits comes your race leader. So we'll jump on board with Medson. By kink, I mean this little kink to the left here. So just listen to the engine note through here. Just lifts and then try and straight line it to the braking zone there, and then turn it in for turn 2. And okay, so Knockholes, we'll keep an eye on how long he stops for. That will give us a bit of an indication on fuel that needs to go in the car for this race, being that it's the first race of a brand new series. I'll be interested to see if it's 10, 20 seconds, how much fuel needs to be taken on board. Mark Pryor took 44 seconds worth of fuel. I think that's something else was going on in that pit stop. It was 13 seconds for Knockholes. So that's the amount of fuel he's taken on board to hopefully bring it home with enough fuel to win the race. Hayden Carroll, by the way, is now all over the back of Medson. Let's jump on board in the Porsche and see if he can get through. Dives to the inside, has a big look. The door's half left open. It's half left open, and I think he's got it done. He almost nudges him into the fence. Medson fights back now. He wants a piece of Carroll, and it's Carroll in front by a car length, and he has to let him go. Hayden Carroll now leads the race, and this will work well if he can push on. Remember, he's trying to cover off the car that has stopped, Jordan Knockholes, who's all the way back in 22nd position. And the issue that Jordan's got at the moment, he's got a bit of lap traffic up ahead. He needs to clear McDougall as quickly as possible. And McDougall has stopped. He stopped at lap 3, took 2 seconds worth of fuel. Surely not enough to bring him home. So lap 11 of 20. Let's just have a little think about this. So Carroll leads from Medson and Mikowski. Simpson, P4. All these drivers, all the way down to 13th place, are yet to stop. Mikowski's under pressure from Simpson now. So from the rear of the field, second last off the grid, Ryan Simpson now finds himself in P4, almost P3. Maybe a good chance for an undercut here. Will he go to the lane? No, he doesn't. He stays out. I generally don't pick the undercuts very well, do I? To me, as sitting on the sideline, it's a great time to jump into the lane if you're having to lose time overtaking a car. Simpson's going to fight this one with Mikowski. He's got ahead of him for a moment, but Mikowski should go back down the inside here, which he does, and makes that look pretty easy in the end. So this is all costing Ryan Simpson time against the competitors he's racing against, which is Jordan Knockholes, 22nd place, who has made that pit stop. So Mikowski's lap time around last time was a 103.6. Simpson was about a tenth of a second quicker, but ultimate lap pace for Simpson is much quicker. He's done a 102.1, so his actual lap time that he could do is incredibly fast if he can just get some clear air. Into the braking zone once again. He's probably not close enough. He'll get, once again, perfect time for an undercut, surely. A 102 out in front. Hayden Carroll, he's lighting up the timing screen. That was a new personal best for him. And he's stretched that margin already out to 2.5 seconds first to second. Now down the inside, Simpson will try and make this stick. Then he needs to try and cover off the line for the next corner, which he's done. So he's been able to get the pass done and then get far enough ahead of Mikowski to make sure he can't come back down the inside. So great job. Simpson now back in a podium position from the back of the grid. Well done. Meanwhile, Matt Dexter fighting with Falzon. This is all the way back down in 18th place. In fact, it's PJ Whiteman who's got the Lambo battle going on here. A couple of Lambos. Dexter closes right up with that driving light ablaze. Surely it feels a little bit offensive when you've got someone with the... Oh, contact! Whiteman and Dexter have got together and they've blocked the track down there. So this is not good. It's Falzon's the other car stuck in there. They've got to just wait a moment whilst they clear the carnage and then they get on with it. But that's cost all three drivers there plenty of time. Now Hayden's carrying a bit of damage. Right-hand side of the car, I've just noticed. Just check out that rear fender of the Porsche. Definitely, I reckon, scrape the wall on the pit on the final turn coming onto the pit straight. It's definitely some pit wall damage, which generally was a signature or a trademark of Oran Park. If you had a scrape on the right-hand side of your car, especially around the rear guard, you've got a little bit happy on the throttle coming onto the pit straight and scrape the fence. Oh dear, Samuel Collins has crashed, has he? He has, just down prior to the bridge. Drops back to P9. And the slow car in there was Benny Roberts, sadly, having to let cars through under blue flag conditions. So Roberts, who has the fastest lap of the race, not having the best of a time here in the reverse grid race. 5.5 laps to go. Hayden Carroll crosses the line. Lap 15, yet to stop. So we've got the top 13 not in the pits yet. First driver that stopped, Mark Pryor. His gap, it's only 25 seconds now. It says lap 1 for him. I'm wondering if that's a trigger because he started from the pit lane possibly. Hence why it's showing that he has made a stop. If that's the case, your first genuine stopper is Ian McDougall, all the way back in 18th place. So there's Ian coming onto the pit straight now. Dexter behind him, yet to stop. And Jordan Knockholes, well, his night has just come to an end as far as any chance of beating Carroll, Medson and Simpson with that early pit stop. He's just gone off the track. I think he did it by himself as well. Let's have a quick look. So the replay, he was by himself. I reckon he'll lose the back end here, and it just goes the old pendulum. Oh, he got a little snap on, and then across over the curb and down into the grass infield. All right, keeping an eye on the drivers at the front. They're still not even looking like they're ready for a pit stop. We've only got 4.5 to go. Sam Collins having a fight here with Ash McClurkin, who I'd love to see Ash finish here in the top 10. It's great to have him back. Oh, big dive from Collins. Ash survives. As I was saying, I know Ash walked away from this for a bit, wasn't racing in the series, but he's back, and brother to Ran. It's great to see them both out there on the racetrack. Ran McClurkin. Oh, who was that going straight ahead? Ross Hansen, I think it was. There's McClurkin at the moment, up 4 positions. So for him to get a double finish with a green number next to his name, which means he's progressed forwards in the race. He's super stoked with that. Big flames out the back of that McLaren, look incredible. Western Plains Nissan number 54 Machine Colt Motorsports entry. Chasing down Mark Pryor now. Now Ran hasn't stopped either, so they're leaving it late. Makes me nervous. Have they read the rule book? Do you need to make a pit stop? I'm sure you do. Hayden Carroll's got a 7.2 second advantage, so he's feeling very, very secure at the moment. The next car up the road for him He's just got to be a little bit careful. He's got Kurt Bond and Whiteman not too far up the road. Maybe best to get the pit stop served before you start going through the lap traffic. Whether or not he feels that way, who knows? Let's jump on board. So the Sky Sands Porsche machine cold entry goes around to start lap 18. Meanwhile, here goes Simpson. He's about to elevate himself up into second place. And look at the gamesmanship going on too with Robert Medson in front. Medson swerving around down the pit straight, trying to break the toe. Through the kink they go together. And hard on the brakes, Simpson wants to try and find a way through ASAP. His last lap was a 10th quicker. You can see he's been consistently quicker over lap 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17. Up to 0.6 of a second there at 1.7 seconds quicker on lap 13. He's carrying a lot of pace. Is Simpson. Bit of oversteer up onto the bridge now. Trademark from hitting that bump. But I tell you what, no one's going to catch Carroll at this rate. The gap now out to nearly 8.6 seconds. Back on board with Simpson. Let's go down to the nose camera. He gets right up beside him almost at the dog leg. Now he should send it down the inside, you would think, and he does. So job done. Simpson now up into P2. Will he go to the lane? They're not going to the lane, these guys. So maybe I read the rules wrong. Maybe I heard the rules wrong. I thought there was a compulsory pit stop in this race, but we're lap 19 now, and it looks pretty much like we're going to go to the end without a stop. Jordan Knockholes, if that's the case, will be absolutely fuming after making a pit stop back there on lap 9 of the race. Rue Koistra also lap 9 for his pit stop. Ash McClurkin spun around and beached the car down there. He's got to get going again because Gretsch not too far behind, and Don, Crum, Dickey and Smith all in that little train. So McClurkin gets back up to speed, but I think Gretsch will go down the inside. Tony Don also thinks about it. On board, McClurkin and Gretsch almost rub guards there, and McClurkin hangs on. That was aggressive, good defending. Now Gretsch to the inside. Tony Don has a big look now. He thinks he can go to the inside of McClurkin across the bridge. White flag drops, 1 to go. They're not stopping for fuel, these guys. They're going to run to the end. Hayden Carroll leads 9 seconds as he crosses the line. Final lap of the race. And after disappointment and heartache in race 1, getting a little tap and heading off the track right there, looks like he's going to take himself a win in the first round, the first feature race of this brand new season 12 of the Australian Sports Sedans from Oran Park. Next week we're off to Sandown. Incredible, can't wait for that. Hayden Carroll on fire tonight. Ryan Simpson, you got to say that is a drive and a half. He's come from the back of the pack up 23 places for P2, and what a run that's been. Medson has also driven great in the Audi. He will hang on for 3rd place, but have a look at this guy. 1 wheel up in the air as he comes up towards the dogleg for the final time tonight. The checker flag's going to be waiting for him. And the Machine Cult Motorsports Porsche of Hayden Carroll takes the win in race number 2, the feature race tonight. And he does it in style by a massive margin, 9.4 seconds. Fantastic drive. Ryan Simpson for Parramatta Smash Repairs, our sponsor for round number 1, will cross the line and takes a fantastic P2 ahead of Medson. Mikowski will get 4th place, just outside the top 3 for Jace tonight. Great drive for him to get himself right up there in that. Jenna, Nichols, Collins, Gretsch, and then it's going to be Ash McClurkin for a top 9 finish. Good job. He'll take 9th behind Gretsch any day of the week. And then you've got Luke Crum for 10th, Tony Don 11th, Colin Smith 12th. Dan gets 13th ahead of Ram McClurkin. We've got someone in the fence, I think, at the last corner. Was it Mark Pryor? Someone hit the wall down there. Big cloud of smoke. But Hayden Carroll, put your hands together. This man has won this race, and we'll hopefully have a chat to him shortly, and we'll wrap it all up with Ran and get all the results up on the screen for race number 1. That was incredible. Peter Burner says, awesome, Hayden Carroll. It was fantastic. So the top three hopefully coming down to stop on the start-finish line and celebrate with a bit of a victory, a spin or two. The race results are coming up on the screen now. Here it was. Carroll with the win, 9.4 seconds ahead of Simpson, Medson. Then it was Mikowski, Janet, Nichols, Collins, Gretsch, McClurkin and Crum. Rounding out your top 10. There's some burnouts going on back on the burnout pad there. Nice to see. 11th went to Tony Don, Smith. Ormond's got 13th ahead of McClurkin, McDougall, Dickey, Pryor and Hanson. Your top 18, 19th tonight in the race went to Dexter. Then it was Whiteman, Knockolds, Koistra. Benny Roberts unlucky there in race 2. Finishes 23rd ahead of Falzon, Kurt Bond and Lockie Barlow. Rounds 80, 26 drivers for race number 2 as they all come back to the pits. Let's see if we can go find some drivers to chat to. We'll start off with Hayden Carroll. So let's see if we can grab him. Just going to move him across now to the broadcast room. Hayden, mate, congratulations on what was so much disappointment in race 1 to come back and win race 2. That's fantastic.
Yeah, obviously with the crash in race 1, and we just had a major update in iRacing, so all the setups that I had is thrown out the window, so I was just racing on baseline just then.
Yeah, but mate, you look good out in front, 9.4 seconds. Obviously you had Simpson who'd come through the whole field behind you, but you had a good fight there with Medson and others. It was a good fun race 2?
Yeah, it was great fun. It, stuffed it up at the chicane going into the last corner and was able to fight it back, so it was good.
Yeah, great to watch. Ryan, we'll go to you for second place tonight, man. What a drive through the field. In fact, while I'm talking to you, I want to go back and just watch the opening lap or so when you had to start carving your way through. Tell us what it's like starting back there and making 23 places through a field.
Exciting. We said the first race was boring, so the second race certainly made up for it. Just getting through the field and obviously trying not to hit anyone or be hit, so we got a little bit of damage there at some point, but managed to press on, and yeah, it was a bit of fun, mate. It's a good race around here in a GT3 car. Yeah,
watching the race start now, it was chaotic, and you've just got to pick your way through. You had that one point where the track was blocked in front of you with a crash, and you just, I guess, had to find some patience there and just weave your way through the carnage.
Yeah, exactly, and just, again, not hit anything in front, and hopefully nothing sort of hits you from behind. So it's easy to get unlucky in these reverse grid races, so I think tonight it just worked out well for me.
Great drive, man. And Rob, P3 tonight in the Audi. Great to see you up there, and some good battles as well. Hayden came through strong though, didn't he?
Yeah, man. Both boys were flying. Even Geordie, I think he had didn't have enough fuel in his car, and those top guys were pretty fast. I was a bit of a rolling roadblock, but I thought if I could just try and get in their way for a bit, and managed to pull a P3, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so Jordan, obviously, did he keep a quali set or something in there, or race 1 set? Because it was an early stop, lap 9, to put him out of contention.
Yeah, he didn't change his race 1. I think the 12 lap, and I think he just did a bit of an early pit. So, yeah, bit unlucky there.
Very unlucky. Right, let's do some thank yous. If you've got personal sponsors or people you want to shout out to, it's great to be back with this series. I'm very fond of it, as you can tell. But Hayden, who would you like to thank, man?
I'd like to thank Rand for sponsoring me, and you for putting on the live stream, and all our other sponsors for the series.
Fantastic. And P2, Ryan Simpson, who would you like to thank?
Yeah, thanks to Rand. It's good to be back. We had a little break there, but I think he's got the formula correct for this series, and everyone's excited about it. Parramatta Smash Repairs, of course, and yourself, Luke. Thank you.
Awesome, man. And Parramatta Smash Repairs, our broadcaster sponsor for tonight's round, so fantastic to have them on board. And if you need your car fixed, there's only one place to go in Sydney, that's for sure. So Parramatta Smash Repairs, check it out. Rob, P3, who would you like to thank, man?
Huge shout out to Geordie. He got everything organised for me and Dan, and with the Chill Out Motorsport boys, and Mikey for doing the paint and whatnot. Huge thanks to Complete Blinds for helping me out with a lot of stuff, and yeah, I suppose all the boys for showing up and making this a bit of fun.
Awesome way to start off. Next week we're off to Sandown. Hayden, any thoughts on that new track for the service?
Yeah, I think that one's going to be good. A lot of us from Victoria's home track, so I reckon it's going to be very fast and a lot of slipstream and stuff like that.
For sure. Ryan, is it a place you've raced around, mate?
Yeah, just like Oran Park, mate. I used to race Formula Vs around here back in the day in state and national series, and Sandown, similar situation. So yeah, it's good to get back on the local tracks and have some fun.
Mega. And Rob, have any experience with Sandown, mate? Have you bought it yet?
Nah, mate. Besides watching it on TV, I have not even driven it. So hopefully it's a bit of a level playing field for a lot of the boys who don't have it yet, and we can sort of. Well, I'm relatively new to iRacing or sim driving, so hopefully we're all in a bit of a same playing field.
Everyone's got 7 days to buy the track and learn it, so it's going to be fun. Ran, I'll throw it over to you, mate. Great first round of this brand new season 12, and Hayden Carroll, after crashing out race 1, gets himself a win.
Did he win? Good one, H. I feel a bit better now that we collectively crashed him off the track or something. Yeah, look, that's good. I know that there was a few issues, but overall, I think that's pretty good for a sim race, don't you reckon? So, yeah, I'm super stoked that the guys all turned up and that they put so much effort in, and no one was being a dick. Yeah, there's a couple of little incidents out there, but it's racing and it's in the virtual world, which can be a bit tough. And I think for Oran Park, we were worried, but Ryan, I think not too many smash repairs. And a big thanks to Ryan and Parramatta Smash Repairs for getting this first round up and running. I really appreciate it.
Good on you, Ran. Thank you.
Cool. So 7 days. We're off to Sandown for the next one, Ran. Same format. Now tell me, was I just completely mistaken? I thought there was a pit stop in that race.
No, I told you there's no pit stops this season except for Bathurst. But that's okay, Luke. You work very hard, and I'm here to fill in the blanks for you, and you can fill the blanks in for me, and together we'll have all the story. So, yeah, no, there's no pit stops. I saw a couple of people go into the pits, but I think it's because they had damage. Yeah, only Bathurst should have pit stops. Otherwise, Kurt will yell at me. Kurt gets very upset if I have pit stops and safety cars.
Yeah, let's quickly mention a couple of other drivers that made up good gains in that second race. So Brendan Jenner up 17, Samuel Collins up 17, and Aaron Gretsch up 15 spots. So they did a great job. And then some also defensive credit there to your brother Ash. He stayed in 9th place, started 9th, stayed in 9th, so that's a good win for him. And then a few other drivers as well that, you know, with the reverse grid, Luke Crum, Tony Don, they stayed up there in the top 10 or 11, so good job.
Yeah, I think that was really good. Like, I'm really happy that Ash did up there well. Like, obviously he's been away from iRacing because he hated it. There's no bones about it, but he's come back and he reckons that iRacing has got the tyre model and such a lot better, which H keeps telling me it's got really good physics. So Ash is starting to believe that story. So yeah, it was good to have. I just think it's a pretty good mix. Obviously, we miss having people like Ricciardello and such, but I think we've got a really good little crew. So yeah, I can't thank everybody enough. It's me putting it together, but if they didn't all show up, we wouldn't be doing anything. So, and thanks for anyone that did tune in and watch. And remember, Sports Sedans in the real world are back at the Bend for the national series with the supercars. So get along if you're in South Australia and go check out the real cars. We raced obviously just the other week at Winton, and it was a really good crowd there, and Jordan, Caruso and Tomasi put on an awesome show as well.
Yeah, so just quickly on that other point about the cars getting better, Ryan, you've driven a GT3 car in the real world. Are you on that track? You think iRacing is really starting to step it up again now?
I think it is for sure. Like GT3 cars are probably my favourite car that I've ever driven, and to use them on the sim, it's comparable. They're awesome cars, and I think it's the right formula for a good series.
Awesome. Well, you've done well, Ran. You've got the crew, you've got the gang back together, and season 12 is now underway. So thanks for your hard work. We do it again in 7 days at Sandown.
Yeah, definitely. See you for Sandown. I think that's an Aaron Gretsch one, isn't it? I have to check, but we'll get some things up. I've got to get some practices up for the boys because obviously with Sandown only coming available this morning, I haven't set up any practices, so I better do that. But yeah, big thanks to you, Luke, and everyone for tuning in and everyone showing up. Yeah, go Sports Sedans.
Awesome. All right, thanks, boys. We'll see you next week. All right, that's it for tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in if you did. And I'll tell you what, I'm so glad they're back. But Hayden Carroll, he must be stoked with that. He got a win in race 2. Ryan Simpson second. Rob Medson running at your top 3 in the feature race tonight. We'll have all the points updated next week for round 2, and we'll keep you in touch across this 5-round All-Australian Circuit Series. So until next time, I'm Luke. This is RACESTARS TV. Good night.